Today, I speak not as one person, but as a voice within a very, very grieving nature, grieving country. I speak to those who have self-deported, who felt that the only way to survive was to leave behind the life they built here in the land of the free and the brave. You should never have been put in that position. In a country as rich and as capable as this and as diverse as ours, fear should never drive families apart like it did. We are a land of opportunity, yet our policies have turned opportunity into punishment. This administration has done that. During the years of division and cruelty, people were treated not as neighbors but as numbers, as problems to be solved instead of souls to be understood, and gotten a humane immigration policy through to help you all. Under Trump's reign, though, communities that had thrived for decades were shattered within months, within this year, maybe even earlier, I don't know. Fathers disappeared, mothers were detained, children are about to grow up without parents, children are wondering why loving a country is illegal. This is not strength. This is a strain on our collective conscience. An apology is owed to some of these people, not just for what was done, but for what was not done. For every leader who stayed quiet, every congressman, every senator who stayed quiet, every citizen who looked away, every citizen who called ICE, every voice that should have cried out sooner and saw this coming. America should never forget that it's not walls that make us safe, but humanity that makes us a whole unit, a whole country. But please notice one thing. Fight for your dignity. The fight for your dignity, the fight for your rights is not over. It's not. There are still millions here who believe that borders should never erase somebody being or belonging here. One day when the winds of this administration fears have passed, this nation will be ready to say not just welcome, but we are sorry for what we did and we will do better. We should be doing better. This country should do that.
Official. Yesterday, President Trump signed an executive order establishing Project Homecoming. The government will pay you if you'll self-deport yourself, including your flight back home. This executive order lays out a 60-day window for immigrants to voluntarily deport themselves. After that, they're gonna deploy 20,000 agents to conduct the biggest deportation campaign ever, according to Trump, to find and deport people. Now, they're saying that if you voluntarily deport yourself, you might have a chance to come back. But is it true? It's not that simple. If you've been illegally in the United States for over a year, the moment you set foot outside the United States, you're automatically barred for 10 years. And people that came here many times unlawfully are subject to the permanent bar. So while the promise is nice, in reality is if you leave the United States after being here unlawfully, the chances of coming back are close to zero. Speak to an attorney before making decisions and follow me.
Self-deportation, here's what it could mean for you. Generally, self-deportation is when you leave the United States while you're in active removal proceedings or after you're issued a removal order and decide to leave on your own. Sometimes it's confused with voluntary departure or voluntary return, but it's not the same. What are the consequences? Another complicated question, and the answer really depends on your personal circumstances and exact situation. For example, if you're in active removal proceedings and decide to leave the country on your own, you could trigger a bar that would prevent you from ever returning to the United States. But again, always depends on your personal circumstances. Follow us to stay updated and contact us for more information.
Hi, my name is Q, and I'm making this video to share my experience as I am beginning self-deportation. I want to start off by acknowledging the fact that my mother made an immense sacrifice to bring me here as a child in search of the American dream. I'm okay.
Are you crying?
I'm alright. I'm gonna tell a story, okay? I feel like by being in the current situation that I'm in, that I've let her down. Sorry. It's even though I have DACA, right now that doesn't mean anything. It's only going to take one interaction with one racist ass ICE officer for him to ship me to who knows where. Guantanamo? There is no guarantee that I'm going to be sent back to my birth country. I have 3 daughters who are US citizens. I cannot risk being separated from them. This is what I came up with last night as far as what I'm gonna have to do. I have to get passports for the girls. I have to somehow manage going to the Mexican consulate to get a Mexican passport for myself or Mexican identification for myself. I have to figure out where in Mexico I'm going to relocate to, how much money I can come up with to leave, what the monthly expenses are going to be, what the travel expenses are going to be, and how long I can live off of the money that I can come up with until I start generating income. I need to determine whether we would fly there or drive there, depending on where I'm going, to figure out if we fly there, then what? What am I going to do about transportation? Where are we going to stay? How are we going to get to where we will be relocating to? So I have to research homeschooling so I can pull my daughters out of the school system now, because I don't even feel safe driving them to school. As far as income streams, money's online. So YouTube, TikTok, but I could teach English, and that's where I'm at. I have lived here since I was 7. And do I want to leave? No. I cannot hold an entire conversation in Spanish. There's a lot of words that I don't know how to say in Spanish. My daughters don't even speak Spanish. But I'm not going to risk being sent to some prison somewhere. And then what happens to them? This is where I'm at. And I will update on the process so that you can follow my journey on self-deportation.
Life after deportation. I live in Tijuana, Mexico, and I just connected with my new friend Victoria. She self-deported. I want to give you this platform and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Miriam. So, my dad actually got deported and tried to cross to the States a couple times. Once he was unable to do so, yeah, he decided, him and my mother, that it would be best for us to come over to TJ and just start a new life here.
How long ago was this?
So, I'm 27 right now, and this was when I was 13. So, I was pretty young. I had to do that whole going to school transition, the language barrier, basically learning to read and write, even though I was in 8th grade. So it was pretty hard.
Did you struggle a lot with like bullying and stuff like that at school, or was it kind of like an easy transition?
I feel like the teachers would bully you even more than the kids. I had to ask, again, at 8th grade, I had to ask elementary level information on how to write, how to read. And a lot of the times I didn't get that support. So it was a lot of like, seriously, you don't know how to write that? And I get embarrassed. And that was what would make my classmates laugh. And it really made me an introvert, and I didn't feel like I could ask for help.
Like, what were you feeling when you first landed in Mexico?
I was definitely scared and unhappy. And not only at first, it took me a lot of years where I still had this hope that one day I would go back to the States, where I missed what I knew as home. And just, it was a culture shock, because you come here and maybe you have a concept of what Mexico is, but the reality is very different to what gets romanticized. I started in the call center industry as soon as I turned 17, with that necessity to make money, to be able to even just purchase my school supplies.
Why did you choose call centers?
Here in Tijuana and generally in Mexico, it's the best salary that you can find, because they, not everybody speaks English, and so they value English. Most jobs are 6 days and you get Sunday off or maybe a day during the week. You would get paid around 2,600 pesos. And then in the call center, you would only work Monday through Friday and get paid 4,000 pesos.
So almost double.
Almost double, yeah. Yeah, almost double. Now, the difference is that here we live in the border. So there's a lot of places where they're going to charge you in dollars. And when they charge you in dollars, then that's when it gets kind of different, when you're like, I could not imagine living off of a 2,600 peso salary. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who do so and have way different lives than what I was able to live. And so, in a sense, I did get pretty lucky.
Yeah, because I'm like, that sounds, even saying 4,000 pesos, it sounds like a little bit when you translate it into dollars, because what's that, like $200? So even like translating that amount into dollars, it sounds like a little bit, but compared to what a normal person makes, it's a lot, you know? So that's just wild. And then Tijuana's expensive. I feel like Tijuana is very, very expensive. I used to live in Las Vegas and I compare the prices and I feel like it's kind of the same here as Vegas, property wise, house wise, everything, cost of living, the gas, everything costs the same, if not more, than in Las Vegas. So I always wonder, like, how the hell do people afford to live here that have regular freaking jobs?
Self-deport with me after living in the United States for 7 years. I came to the United States as an international student, and despite my best efforts to legally immigrate here, the pathways available have been so narrow that I have decided to return to my home country, Nigeria, which sucks, by the way. Today, I'm gathering up books to donate to the library because I cannot bring them with me due to the luggage limit. One thing I've learned since living in the United States is the secret of life, which I will share with you at the end of this video. There were so many challenges I faced while in the United States, and I'm expecting a whole new set of challenges when I'm back home in Nigeria. I expect that my quality of life will certainly decrease when I'm outside the United States, but moving back home will solve one problem I had here, which is working. At least in Nigeria, I'll probably be unemployed. Of course, being unemployed also means being broke, so new problem. Packing has been so surreal. I'm going to miss my apartment so much, but I'm glad I got a taste of independence in my early 20s. I came to the US when I was 16, all by myself, and I had to figure a lot of things out alone. I had a lot of firsts here, my first car, first speeding ticket, etc. I was not able to see my family for the 7 years I lived here due to immigration laws, which is sad because I would have loved to share a lot of things with them. My apartment has been quite messy as I've been packing, but I'm also really cherishing the last couple days I have with it. I'm expecting the worst in Nigeria. I'm not going to have access to electricity, healthcare, and the internet the way I got used to in the United States. But hopefully seeing my family will console me while I bask in the misery. You can follow me here on TikTok and on YouTube to see the rest of my journey, and also buy me a coffee to soften my landing from first world to third.
And returning to Mexico.
So I've seen a huge number of people talk about the fact that they're either planning on leaving, thinking about leaving, or already are in process of leaving, giving up their DACA and going back to their home country. Even lots of cases of people who have already done it. So I have a piece of advice for anyone who is considering possibly leaving, or maybe not even on purpose, but maybe you end up getting deported or somehow DACA goes away and we all get sent back. Here's the best piece of advice that I've thought of that can help you. Now is going to be the best time for you to figure out how to get some sort of passive income to where you don't even have to be in the United States for. So for me and my wife, we're looking at real estate, buying some properties, getting some rental income, because most of us are going to go back to a country where the US dollar is a lot stronger and can get you a lot more. The last thing that I want to do is go to Mexico, get paid Mexico money, and have to spend it on Mexico things. What I would rather do is make American money and go spend that US dollar anywhere else. So you need to get some sort of passive income or some sort of job that doesn't require you to physically be here. There's lots of ideas. We're in a world of remote work, so understanding that you could do anything that's on a laptop that doesn't require you to be in person. Think about what those transitions could be. If you got some money saved up, how can you take that money and how can you transition it into something that can generate you income? Again, we're looking at real estate. It could be a lot of other things. Maybe you're a homeowner, so can you either sell that home or you can rent that home and have continuous income, because now that takes the pressure off of the things you need to do down there, getting a job, other things, because you know you're covered. So if you're going to self-deport, or Lord forbid you get deported, find some way to keep that currency in US dollars, bring it in, no matter how passive it is, and see if that doesn't help you live a much better life. Because me and my wife, if we ever have to leave this country, we're going to Colombia. I'm Mexican, but she has a lot of family in Colombia, so we're gonna go there, and we plan on living a very good life with US dollars coming in, spending them in Colombia and all over the world. So what other ideas do you have, or what other preparations should people make if they're...
Everybody has an opinion, and that's okay. Because whatever I put out there stays out there. This I know. And I accept all the bad with the good. I accept all the hot with the cold. Anytime you put yourself on social media, you have to accept everything that come at you. My decision was, I refuse to allow anyone to take away my rights. My rights as a man. I refuse to allow the system to lock me down in any which way because I choose to go this road or live like this. Oh no. Life is all about choices. And if you don't make the choice for yourself, someone will make it for you. That's how it is. That's how it is. If you don't make up your own choice, make choice for yourself, somebody else will make it for you. Okay. And most people don't understand that. You see, I always say, for those who don't understand how detention center go, talk to someone who was arrested, who spent a night or a week in jail. Talk to that person. Let that person break that shit down. When you get arrested, your rights is gone. You are locked down for hours and hours and hours and hours. And this is how the deportation work, as far as I know. When they lock you up, they just don't deport you. They put you in, they drive you to some kind of holding cell where you sit for days and days and days. Then you'll be able to make a call. And not only that, if you can't make a call, then you're stuck. Now your family have to worry about how they're going to get in contact with you. And it's not that easy because the system is in place. You can only talk to so-and-so for this hour, within this time, within this, within that, within this. That's how it goes. And as I understood again, if your family send you a ticket, it's not that easy. The system tells you when they can release you. Oh my goodness. Because when they have you, they will run your name through every database they have or they can find. They will make sure run everything on you. You will be fingerprinted immediately. And everything you have done in the past, everything you have done, they will run that shit through FBI, through CIA, every law enforcement system in the country. They will run you through. And this is one of the reasons why they are holding you for such a long time. So if anything pop up, boop, they got you. But through the powers, I'm okay. Through the powers, I'm okay. I have nothing on me. And this is why I choose to do what I did. Most people, they ain't thinking. They believe that, okay, I can do this and I can do that and I can do this and I can do that and I can do this and I can do that. Man, let me tell you something. When someone don't want you in their house, it's time to go. Some of us had overstayed are welcome. Can I put it like that? If I invite you in my house to come spend a week and a month go by, man, you think I won't fucking see you again? No, you overstay your welcome. You are taking advantage of my niceness because you overstay your welcome. And this goes to every race. I know some of us had family and friends. We allowed them to come in, sleep for the night, sleep for the night. 1 night gone, 2 weeks gone, 3 weeks gone. The motherfucker move in. Then when you try to get them out, all hell break loose. Some people overstay their welcome. And this is it. And that's why you don't welcome people into your house. Family, friends, whoever. Because some people will take advantage. So, hey, say what you want to say. Say what you want to say. I repeatedly say this. I am Mr. Trump, one of Mr. Trump's biggest fans. Say what you want to say. I am one of Donald Trump's biggest fans. And what he's doing, you think everything I agree with? No. But he got to do it. He got to put his foot down. He have to put his foot down because most of those leaders who come before him, they had the balls to do it. It is what it is. As a leader, you can't please everybody. You shouldn't try to please everybody. So, when is my time, is my season, bye. Bye. I'm going to talk to you from a different bye. At the end of the day, I made my choice for myself. I make the choice for myself. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be recording this today. Okay. I don't know. Things may have changed during the process, but I was not taking that gamble. Why? Because I have choices elsewhere. That's why. And when a man have choices elsewhere, he could get up and go, do what he got to do. If I was locked down, then my choices would have been messed up elsewhere. Who gonna run my ship? Okay. Time is very important to me. I can't do 3, 4, 5, 6 months sitting down on my ass. I lose money. I lose a lot of fucking money. Okay. So there's more to this. Follow me as I go along. Share the love. Share the comment. Share the video. I hope that someone who hear me and hear what I'm saying can say, wow, this guy really, he on something. He on something. I should take his advice and just move the fuck on. Because it make no sense being in anyone's house when you're not welcome. Think about it. Just like TikTok. You ain't welcome in the United States, but you're still there. Think about it. Think about it.
Unpopular opinion that might get me in trouble, but I do not care because I am tired of hearing this. There's so many people moving to Mexico. They are making videos and they're calling themselves, we're self-deporting. And I'm just like, why are you adding another label? Why are you saying that? Why are you calling it self-deportation? Do you even understand what deportation means? Deportation means being removed against your will. You don't want to go. The people that are being deported is because they were fighting the case. The judge says no, and then you're being deported. Or you're here and you tell them, no, I don't want to sign a voluntary departure, so they had to deport you. It's against your will. That is what deportation is. It's not something that you want to do. When you're willing to move and you go to a judge or you go and you have an immigration situation or you are detained by immigration and you tell them, you know what? Yes, I am here undocumented. I am willing to leave by my own volition. It's called voluntary departure.
That is what it's called. Voluntary departure. So if you are leaving by your own volition right now, it's called involuntary departure in this country. Call it that. Or call it unmoving. But stop calling it self-deportation so that you can get some pity. Because honestly, that's what I feel like it is. So many of you are just calling it self-deportation so that you get some pity, some views, some clickbaits. But you're not thinking about the problem that it's going to cause to your family having this label. Especially in Mexico. So many times how we talked about this. Mexico is a classist country. Yes, there is racism, but the number one problem in Mexico is classism. No racism, but classism. And it's not going to be you who's going to change that. It's going to, has been existed in Mexico for decades. And it will continue to exist. It does not matter how much you like it or you do not like it. That is the way that Mexico is. So you going over there with the title self-deportee, how do you think that's going to look for your children in school? Is that what you want for them? Oh, look, here comes the children of the self-deportees. Oh, they kick you out of the country. Oh, yeah, they don't want you over there. That's why you're here. I'm just telling you what your children are going to hear. Because that is the way the things work in Mexico. We had talked about it so many times. Mexico is a country de estar chingándose cada uno, de estar, picking on each other and the jokes and all that stuff. That is the way that Mexico is. They don't do it out of hate. They do it out of fun. That's just the way that is. And your children will hear this. Is that what you want? You want your children to hear, oh, look, there comes the deportees. Even though they might be U.S. citizens, they're not going to be like, oh, no, you are U.S. citizen. No, they're going to immediately say and add your children to the group of self-deportees. Is that what you want? For a few clickbaits, a few likes, because I feel like that's the only reason that you're doing it. Why else would you call yourself or label yourself as a self-deportee? I don't understand why. I don't understand why. But I really am begging you to stop. Because as a community, we already have enough labels. We don't need another one. Not to mention, it's incorrect. If you're leaving by your own volition, it's called voluntary departure. That is literally the name of it. So either you start calling it by the real name, or you start with this pity party. Because it's embarrassing. That's my 2 cents.
Okay, I'm going to try to do this again. Try to record this a couple times, but either I want to cry or I cuss too much and, try not to. So, people have been asking me, how has it been since I came to Mexico after not being here for 24 plus years? 24? And honestly, I live in Cancun, so it's pretty nice. It's beautiful. It's it's cute. The beaches are nice. The places are nice. The people are really nice. Everybody, every time you walk, like next to somebody or you're crossing like somebody while you're walking, everybody's always like, buenos días, buenas tardes, buen día, buenas noches, hola, ¿qué tal? Like, just randomly, like, te saludan, like, todos saludan, which I like. Sometimes I have my headphones on because I'm a little antisocial, because, you never know. So I don't really catch it, but you kind of tell from the people that are gonna say hi and the people that just are not, So it's been pretty nice living in Cancun. I love going to the beach, morning sunrises, sunsets sometimes, not always, because getting transportation from, which is called La Zona Hotelera, the hotel area where the beach is, it gets packed after like 5. It gets packed. Like every bus, every transportation that passes through is packed because everybody's getting off of work or everybody's going to work for night shifts or coming off the morning shifts. So it's been pretty nice. I like it. It's not bad. It's really pretty in some areas, of course. Everybody has like the not so pretty areas, but it's calm. Some places are calm, some places are not. Some places are pretty nice to live at. Some, so far I like it here. I like living here. It's hot, but it's not like Houston hot, like humid hot. Here it's like dry hot, where like the sun hits you and like your skin feels like it's burning. Not like you're sticky everywhere, you know? I mean, you're still sweating, so you're still like wet from like the sweat in your back, or you know. But the only issue that I've had, or that I have had since I moved here since February, is the document process. Like, el papeleo para agarrar todos mis documentos has been hard. Like, I came with only my passport and my birth certificate, of course, that I've had since when I was born. I had to get a new version of the birth certificate, which is needed. Like, the old ones, the only one that I have, like, it doesn't qualify anymore, so you need to get the new version, which with my passport I was able to get. All I needed was just to like show it to them, and they were able to give me the updated version, which, okay, cool. With my passport I also have my CUR, which is like an identification number that you also need. Good, got that, because it's already in your passport. With my passport I was able to get my social, the paper version of your CUR, which is also needed, like just on its own, not in the passport. And I was able to get my RFC, which is another number that you need. Cool, good, you know, I was able to get that with my passport. Then my passport got damaged. You know, my mother's dog decided it was a good chew toy, I guess, whatever. So I have to go through the process of getting a new one. I had to basically renew it, just like, I just figured it was like over there where I got mine in Houston, where like, you know, you just go to like the office, which for that case is el Consular de Mexico, the consulate. You go over there and just let me to renew it, or it's lost, and they'll be like, okay, cool, you know, just make an appointment and you go through the process, you pay your fee and move on. Good, cool. Here I went to the office. I made an appointment. I went to the office where they do the passport. First time I did it, I showed them the damaged passport. They told me, okay, we can't take your appointment with just that. You need